Find each product. We have binomials being squared in each of these. We'll start with this first one. We have x plus y in parentheses squared. Now there's a formula for this, but if you don't know the formula, you could write it twice and FOIL. The squared means we have two x plus y's. So one way of working this, you can do x plus y times x plus y, and then FOIL it. FOIL means you multiply the two first terms in the binomials. X times x is x squared. And then do the outer terms, x times y. Then the inner terms, y times x, or since multiplication is commutative, you could write that as x times y to match up with this xy. And then the L in FOIL is multiplying the two last terms. Y times y is y squared. And you can see that the two middle terms are like terms. 1xy plus 1xy is 2xy. So this is going to be x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. And that gives you a formula for squaring a binomial. So you don't necessarily have to write it twice and FOIL. You could use this formula where you square the first term, and then it's 2 times the two terms inside, and then you plus the last term squared. Now if it's a minus sign, it's pretty similar. If we write this twice and FOIL it as well, F and FOIL first, x times x, x squared again. Then we have a minus xy. The inner is also a minus xy. And the last term, a negative times a negative, is positive. So it's going to be plus y squared. So it's almost the same, but you can see that the middle terms are both minus or negative. So it's going to produce a minus 2xy in the middle. All right, this third one, now there's two options for you. You could write it twice and FOIL it, or you could apply the formula here for it. The M matches up with X, and the 3N matches up with Y. So if we apply the formula here, the M is X, and you have plus 2 times the two terms, M times 3N. And then the Y is 3N, so this is going to be 3N squared. I'm going to put it in parentheses because you're squaring both the 3 and the N there. All right, so this is going to come out to N squared. Now you can multiply these in any order, so I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 3 together to give 6. And then you have 6mn, so plus 6mn. And then here you're squaring both the 3 and the n, it's going to be 9n squared plus 9n squared. And if you write that twice and FOIL it, you can see you get the same answer. Now this one with the minus sign, we're going to be using this formula. So the x here matches up with 4p, and the y matches up with 5. So applying this formula, I have 4p squared minus 2 times 4p times 5 plus 5 squared. It's a plus y squared at the end. And the y is 5, so it's going to be plus 5 squared at the end. All right, so I'm going to square the 4 and the p. That gives me 16p squared. Inside here, 2 times 4 times 5 is 40, so that's going to be minus 40p. And then 5 squared is 25. And of course, if you don't like using the formula, you could always write it twice and FOIL it. You'll come up with the same answer. There you go.